Team presents the Binghamton Coaches Show. Only on WBNG.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us once again this month at the Sports Desk for our conversations with the Binghamton Bearcat coaches. Tonight, we sit down with both of the Binghamton's men's lacrosse coaches, Kevin McKeown and Stephanie Allen. It is the final week of the regular season for both the men and women of Binghamton, and tonight we'll find out firsthand what the Bearcats will need to do to lock up a spot in the conference tourneys. So let's get started then tonight with our one-on-one exclusive conversation with Binghamton's men's lacrosse coach, Kevin McKeown. Thank you for joining us once again as we are here on campus and standing just above the Bearcats turf and home of the Bearcats men's lacrosse team. And I'm standing with head coach Kevin McKeown as we get ready for the stretch run in the regular season. Coach, first and foremost, I appreciate you giving us a couple of moments. What's the attitude of the team? What's the atmosphere like for the Bearcats as we get ready for the push run of the America East regular season?
Yeah, well, now that the weather is getting a little bit better, energy's good. Despite maybe not having the outcomes we would have liked in the past couple, I would say the outlook is still very positive. We've got a great group of seniors that are leading the team, and we've been having good practices throughout the week, so we're excited about the last couple games here to finish up.
I know in the preseason you guys talked about playing in Bearcat weather. The sun's shining on our face right now. It's not quite what Bearcat weather is.
Not quite, no. We had a little bit earlier this week, though, but yeah, I mean, obviously, being a spring sport, it's always nice when the sun comes out and the temperatures get a little bit warmer.
As you guys get ready for the stretch run, the important thing is playoffs still in the future possibly, and chance to kind of punch your own ticket. You mentioned some of the results not going your way, but at the end of the day, to still be able to kind of control your own destiny, what's the message to the team at the moment?
Yeah, well, it's just that, that we do have everything in our hands still, that we haven't played our best game of lacrosse yet. I don't know if we've put kind of all three phases together at a time. We've seen flashes from different areas. So, we're looking forward to, putting that full game together and, really getting to play some complementary lacrosse, on both sides of the ball.
What has kind of, in your opinion, been missing to get that full game at this point?
Yeah, well, I think, like one game it's the defense, or one game, the offense is clicking really well, or, or maybe we've just struggled to get the ball to our offense, whether it's through the face-off or clearing. So I feel like we've had like a piece missing in a lot of the games that we've played. So, I think it's just trying to get them all together and make sure that everybody's, on the same page, and making sure that, the next offensive possession maybe reflects, the defense, and how we, if we had to play a couple of possessions in a row, right, we're not taking a quick shot or something like that.
I know you talked a little bit about, being close and competitive in conference games, but also got a chance to test yourself non-conference, taking the trip to play in the Ivies and a ranked Harvard squad where you guys stood toe-to-toe with them. What lessons did you guys learn from going up against one of the best teams in the country?
Yeah, I think we probably learned that when we have the ball a consistent amount, that we can compete with anybody. We competed well at the face-off there. We started to ride well, and I thought offensively it was one of our better games of the year, going against a really strong defensive unit. So, I think that we did see glimpses there of a quarter or 2 quarters of playing really good lacrosse together. So. It was a good challenge for us, and I do think we learned a lot there.
And the America East as well has some powerhouses when it comes both nationally and here regionally as well, and staying competitive with teams, that recruit from the hotbeds, Baltimore, Long Island, getting a chance to go up against Albany, and really going toe-to-toe. How have you seen this team grow throughout this season?
Yeah, I think, we're still looking to grow, is one thing that we're talking about. But I think, I do think we've matured some offensively. I think earlier on in the year, we were looking for the first shot, not necessarily the best shot that we could get. And, that's something credit to Coach Schultz, our offensive coordinator, has kind of helped, foster, within our offensive unit. And I do think our face-off unit, has gotten a lot better. Early on we had some struggles, losing our first 4, and we had struggled getting the ball, at the start, and we've been better there. And we're still young, with Flynn being a freshman and CJ being a sophomore at those positions, but it's obviously an important spot in the game, and I'm proud of the way those guys have developed and really competed throughout the year.
I was just going to ask you about it, but you kind of beat to it. How important is it to control the X, control the face-off, control the pace of play in the new game with the shot clock?
Yeah, I think it's huge. Having the ball, you can score and the other team can't. So, making sure that we dictate the pace of play and understand that we are in control when we have the ball, and on top of that, also working to make sure we clear the ball from defense to offense. Both those two things are vital just to having success.
One of the keys to success for the Bearcats over the last few years has been between the pipes and your senior goalie, Connor Winters. How's his leadership, his stability been one of the ways that you've been able to build this program?
Yeah, well, Connor's a really smart lacrosse player, and he understands the game, and he understands defense, and I think he understands what we need to do to be successful defensively in front of him. So he's been a great leader in practice and film sessions, really encouraging the guys to play the right way and play the way we want to play. So, and on top of that, right, he does a great job in bailing us out when we don't play great defense. I think he makes some of his best saves, when sometimes the defense really fails in front of him, and he's able to, bail us out. So, can't comment enough on how big an impact he has.
Well, I know we talked a little bit about it before we started the cameras, and you said, it's not too much on the top of your mind, but how often does Connor bring up the fact that he's kind of right on your coattail?
Yeah, he hasn't brought it up yet at all. Actually, I don't know how much he knows, about that, but certainly hope for our sake as a team this year that he smashes the record.
A couple games ago, does he bring up the fact that you called a timeout right before he almost scored a goal against?
I apologized to him, but I said, they blew the whistle a lot later than I was actually calling the timeout. I was calling the timeout right as he got into the box, and they kind of waited probably about 2 full seconds. So, wish we would have had that one back, but it was good to see him. He's got confidence with the ball, and it's good to see that.
We continue our conversation with head coach Kevin McKeown later in the show, but don't go anywhere. When we return, we take the court with Bearcats men's tennis as they go back-to-back as NEC champs. Welcome back tonight as we shift our focus for a moment from the face-off circle to the tennis court. Bearcats men's tennis is the champs for a second straight season. Binghamton went back-to-back on the court, and we got a chance to catch up with them as they arrived back on campus with the NEC crown.
They kept learning, they kept growing as the semester went, and they saved their best tennis for the NEC tournament, and hopefully we can build on this going into NCAAs.
Binghamton Bearcats men's tennis is looking to build on the momentum of capturing a second straight NEC Conference Championship. The win clinched in a 4-2 victory over LIU.
All the hard work we put in, we went through some very, difficult moments. So, for a lot of people, I think you see that and you're like, oh, what a great feeling, but there's a lot of hard work, there's a lot of pain behind that, and I'm really glad that we were able to come through and give the team a great win.
A win that the Bearcat tennis family celebrated both in the Garden State and then back again on campus.
So many people traveled down to New Jersey from administration and members of the club and family and alumni and friends and stuff. It was great being able to celebrate right after at the trophy ceremony with those people, and then again to see people coming out, to be here and be welcomed back like that. It's phenomenal. The guys are really... It's special. We have guys from all over the world, all over the country who come to be a part of the program and know that there's so many people that care about their success and they want to celebrate with them. It's great.
It's a celebration that Coach says won't last too long as it's back to business to get ready for the NCAAs.
We'll enjoy it tonight. We'll have a nice Easter day tomorrow, and then Monday we'll be back at it.
Nothing's ever as great as it seems. Nothing's ever as bad as it seems. So Monday we get back to work and, trying to focus on NCAAs, put a good performance in there, and try to run it back next year. Already looking forward to it.
Marias Binney was named the MVP for the NEC tournament, winning both his singles and his doubles matchup in the championships. Binghamton will find out their foe for the NCAAs on Monday, April 28th. The NCAA selection show is set to start at 5:30 p.m. Coming up after the break, we head back to the lacrosse fields and sit down for an exclusive one-on-one conversation with head coach Stephanie Allen. Stay tuned. The Bearcats Coaches Show returns after the break. Thank you for staying with us tonight. We return to the lacrosse field now and sit down with head coach Stephanie Allen. The defending America East champs are facing off with a familiar foe on Saturday with a shot at the conference tourney on the line. Let's head back to the Bearcat Sports Complex now and find out from Coach Allen what this year's team needs to do to defend their title.
I think for us right now, the focus is on getting the little things tuned up and fine-tune each and every day that we're out at practice. We kind of hit a point in the middle of the season that the staff realized we weren't practicing with the intensity that we needed in competition or that we were facing on game days. And the players have really stepped up to the bell and are practicing with an intention and an intensity that I think we haven't seen quite this high. And it's exciting for us to see. We're knocking on the door, and I think this team is ready for whatever's ahead.
Coach Allen reflected during our conversation on this season's campaign through the conference.
Yeah, I don't think conference season has played out exactly as how we had our sights set on, but we're still in a position to be in that America East tournament, and the beauty of it is that it's in our own hands. We control our own destiny, and that's a position you'd rather be in than needing help from other scenarios playing out. And for our players right now, they're really dialed in and focused. I think the tough matches against UMass Lowell and UMBC one-goal games, were heartbreaking, absolutely, but have given our players a lot of hope in terms of who they can compete with and maybe, one or two things falling differently in those games to have a different outcome.
As well as having a target on their backs this season.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone wants to take down the reigning champs. For us, we're a different team this year, and, while we still have the same goals in mind, our approach does have to be different. And I do know that we have a very resilient group that, despite some of the one-goal games and one-goal losses, they're really headstrong, in terms of what we can accomplish this season, and have not given up or unwavered in their beliefs at all.
Coach says that this year's team's greatest trait may be their togetherness.
I think their belief more than anything, the execution, knowing that they did things well in most scenarios, and it's not glaring issues that we're dealing with at this point in the season. We're hanging with the best of the best in the America East, and showing that we do deserve to be there. We just have to fine-tune a couple plays and have some things executed slightly different. This group is, again, unwavering, in their belief that we can do that and accomplish our goals that we set out to achieve this season. And I think it's their chemistry and their camaraderie that they're really rallying behind right now, and those tough games are ones that they can look back on and see how they challenged or encouraged their teammates to get up when they got knocked down, or push them to get out and execute something a little bit better. They're really pushing each other throughout practice and in those games as well, and we can look back at those as positives to hold on to.
And it wouldn't be a Bearcat lacrosse season without a tangle against the Great Danes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just part of our story. They've always been one of our biggest rivals within the America East and toughest competitors. Really well-coached program, and, one that we've gotten plenty of opportunities to face over the years and multiple times within a season. So I think we'll be ready. It's our senior day. We really want to get one for our senior class and just send them into the America East Championship with, a win under their belt and over Albany would be icing on the cake.
Coach Allen also discussed with us the future for the Bearcats.
Well, we do have a number of our seniors out there. I think the beauty of maybe where we were earlier in this season with some younger players getting a lot more minutes due to injuries that we were facing, the experience is there. rookie mentality is out the window now, and those players have played in high-level games, gotten that Division I level of play in their experience. And I think next year, we have a large incoming class of really top-notch players. Several of them landed on top 50 player lists within their regions. We're excited about that group coming in, but I'm really excited for this group of returners to kind of carry on the legacy that this senior class is leaving us with.
And the culture that they are building the future upon.
It's a family that challenges and pushes each other in the best ways every single day, but rallies behind one another and is each other's biggest supporters. We're a close-knit group. Our family and our culture are really the blood life for everything that we do out on the field and on game day. And I think, we've got a good thing going, one that our entire team believes in and trusts in terms of process and the way that we conduct ourselves and carry ourselves. And it all comes down to family.
She says while all eyes are focused on their ultimate goals, the team is staying concentrated on what's right in front of them.
And we're just taking it one day at a time right now. We talked about not looking into weeks ahead. It comes down to being the best versions of ourselves each day we step out on the field. We have to do us well. While we're looking at facing some tough opponents, ahead and down the road, it comes down to us doing Bearcat lacrosse well. And if we aren't in sync, if we aren't playing with each other and for each other, then, the opponent is just another set of players out there that we're going up against. So I think just sticking together, believing in the process, believing in what they can do as a program. And thankfully, we've been there in the past. Just looks a little bit different this year.
Still ahead, we finish up our conversation with head coach Kevin McKeown. We head back outside to the lacrosse turf for the second half of our sit-down with Coach McKeown. Stay tuned. Welcome back one last time tonight, and we head back to the turf to finish up our conversation with Binghamton Bearcats head men's lacrosse coach Kevin McKeown. Well, that one didn't quite make Sports Center, but another guy on your offense did twice this year. Liam just, with some spectacular goals, but at the same time, a stability, a rock on that offensive end. How's his play been this year?
Yeah, Liam, I think he's gotten better as the season's gone on. He's been able to pick his spots a little bit better and, learn how to score, maybe a little bit more efficiently. So he's a great leader for us. He's probably the hardest worker on the team. One of the first ones out, last ones to leave every day, and really sets a great example, and I think pushes other guys to be better.
So when you have a leader like that, when he's the last one in, or last one out, first one in, and at the same time wakes up twice on a Sunday and finds himself at number 4 on Sports Center top 10.
Yeah.
How does that help you as a coach?
Well, I think, a lot of the guys know, Liam's love for the game, his passion for lacrosse, and they know he's got ability, right? So I think that really it helps Liam's credibility as a leader, right? And I think coaches' jobs are easier when you have good leaders, right? Because they're kind of an extension of us in the locker room and with the guys on and off the field. So we've got a lot of confidence in Liam and his ability, but also his leadership ability.
So, last few questions here as we finish up. What can we expect as you guys finish up and wrap up the regular season here in the America East?
Yeah, I think you can expect us to really fight tooth and nail, every minute we're out there to get into the playoffs, right? That's kind of the pathway for our goal of winning the America East Championship. You got to be in it to win it. So, the guys have really set the goal to make sure we have no regrets. We're prepared for each game we have left, and we put our best effort out there.
And then lastly, not just this season, but going forward, what is the future of Bearcats lacrosse, and what can we expect here in Vestal?
Yeah, I think, we can expect some exciting lacrosse. I think, we want to play a fast-paced brand of lacrosse where we can, push from defense to offense and, also, have an exciting, half-field set offensively. And, we want to, the game has sped up with the shot clock and all, and, we've been, I think, knocking at the door in terms of, being able to compete for that championship. So, the hope is that we certainly do it this year.
That's it. And our conversations with the Bearcats coaches. Make sure to join us one last time this year as we wrap up the last 9 months and all of the highlights from this year on campus. We are back on May 20th, so make sure you tune in for that. And in the meantime, as always, head on over to the 12 Sports homepage for all of your Bearcat coverage year-round. Until next month, have a great night, and thank you for making us part of One Binghamton.